Welcome to the Business Spotlight. Today we've got an exceptional show for you, and the reason is that I've got a good friend on the show. She is a very successful speaker, author, coach, radio show host, and probably a neurosurgeon at night, but Judy Hoberman is selling in a skirt. In fact, I've never seen her in bare pants. Judy, thanks so much for being on the show again.
Thank you for having me, and you won't see me in any pants, just so you know.
Well, I know that's part of your branding.
Absolutely.
But I would love to know how this developed. How did you become the lady that's always in a skirt?
Well, there's a couple of different things that are going on there. First of all, I came through 30 years of actually being in male-dominated industries. I was the only female. And so I had to take mental notes and figure out how to get things done because everybody that was mentoring me were men, and very successful men. And I learned a lot, but I'm not a man.
Right.
So I can't do everything that they would do. And so after going through many different industries and ending up in insurance for almost 18 years, I developed my own playbook. And my people that came to work with me were very successful. And because we did things differently. We built relationships. We built long-term relationships. And it was a lot of fun. But at some point, I knew that I wasn't being authentic. And that's my whole thing. That is really that should be my tagline, is being authentic. Because I knew what I was doing was not working. So I left everything that I did and jumped out without my parachute and started my company selling in a skirt. And it really started out to be just for women. Because women have the ability to earn much more money, to be much more successful, and yet we stop ourselves all the time, or there's outside forces that stop us. And so I thought, if I could come back and be anything that I wanted to be, what would I be? And it would be a coach and a mentor and a speaker and everything. But I really, really, really wanted to work with women, and so I do. Now, the selling in a skirt part was I needed to find something that people would remember. And you know as well as I do, everybody remembers selling in a skirt. However, be careful how you brand yourself, because I cannot be seen without a skirt. When I am, people call me out all the time and they say, where's your skirt? And I actually got called out in FedEx one day by a young man behind the counter in a very icy, snowy day where I was wearing sweatpants and boots and a baseball hat and a sweatshirt. And he said in front of everyone, it was right before Christmas, he said, "Yo, selling in a skirt, where's your skirt?" And I looked around, everybody looked at me, and I said, "Well, I'm not selling today." He goes, "Oh no, you tell us we sell every day." That was it. That was the last time I wore pants.
Nice. Well, I mean, think about the impact of that. I mean, here it was, you had reached this person in in the marketplace, and they knew you a certain way, and they trusted you a certain way. So I think that's awesome. It's great branding. It's excellent. And when you look at what you're doing for your clientele, I mean, how are you influencing the women that you serve? Or it sounds like now more men as well. Part of the reason is I think you're a great decoder ring for us. But
Yeah, that's true. Well, honestly, when I speak, because I'm a keynote speaker, when I speak to men and women. And what I talk about is the fact that we have differences. And I know, your wife knows, my husband knows, we are different. And so if you understand the differences and treat them as differences, not as a liability, there's a much harmonious workplace or business that you can create. So when I do speak, I talk about that. I talk about differences. However, I also really get into some of the nitty-gritty, some of the little things that you can implement today that can change the way that you work together, communicate, or sell. Because I really am a sales trainer. But I talk about, with a little twist, I talk about it men and women.
Well, but you're so good at the explaining the differences in the way that not just a woman thinks, but you're good at explaining that to a man.
Right.
So that it comes across as, oh, I get it. Now I understand what I should do or shouldn't do. And a lot of times with guys, I think it's that we need to put our emotional dukes down, our defenses, and just go, wait a minute, there's something else going on here.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think another reason is that a lot of times men think that now they have to come up with a different training plan for women, and they have to devote more time to women, and women take much more time to close a deal. Well, that's all said and good. It's not two different training programs. We do take longer because we build relationships. And why wouldn't you want to build relationships with women? if we are, and I use this statistic all the time, if we actually are influencing 85% of all consumer purchasing decisions, wouldn't you want to know how to speak to us? Wouldn't you want to know how to make us help you come up with a solution? Because once we're part of the solution, we own it. So that's all part of the whole process. And a lot of times, men will say to me after I speak, I now get what my wife is saying, or I understand this. But the best one I ever had was when this man came up to me at the end of my talk and he said, I realize why I have no women in my business. And it's actually because I have a sign that says Reader's Digest condensed version only.
Nice. RCDV. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been asked for that before because as a speaker talk, is natural, and they were like, time out, give me just the Reader's Digest condensed version.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. There were very few women in that department.
Absolutely.
So, when we look at when we come back from the break, one of the things we're going to be talking about is really how you've created this level of success in your life. And really, well, folks, what you're going to learn is more about how Judy can help you create more success in your own life. And women happen to be the other side of the race, so you're going to want to be back. We'll be right back.